Jonathan and I had this weird thing where our worlds collided a couple of months ago. That was very funny. Her world of being in the public service collided with my academic world. It was really funny. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, keeps it. Yeah, how about that? Okay, so I'm delighted to be back in the room with you all, and lots of new faces. And I'm sorry that I said some of the old faces, because not like you're old, you're familiar, but the familiar faces and new faces. So I'll get to know the newer faces, and maybe some of the old faces feel like they've got a new face. I don't know. So you've had a week already, so you're all warmed up. So you just have to wait for me to warm up a little bit as well. Darren and Jenny and I had a great chat yesterday about what you've been up to. That sounds like a great first week. So we'll continue this week. As you know, this 3 weeks, very intensive period for exploring what it is to move between these two roles of being a student of ATM and a teacher of ATM. And what's become very apparent to us is that probably in this method, more than a lot of other methods, those two roles aren't as dissimilar as in other methods. So like there is, as a teacher, you have to hold the student, you have to hold your own studentness as you're teaching a lot more. I mean, maybe that's true in other methods. I haven't thought about other methods, but in this method, as you're probably realizing, the student is very much present within you as you. So therefore, that the blurriness and how you traverse those two roles, maybe they're not two roles, maybe they're sort of two wings of a bird or two sides of a coin or something like that. And because it's an experiential method. So we'll continue to, you'll continue to be a student on the floor and then get up and practice teaching each other, but feel that blurriness as you're moving in and out of those two things, that kind of circular way. So that's the flavour for the week. Now, what else is the flavour for the week? So each day we'll do an ATM from the ATM book, which you've all done before, most of you, not all of you, because we based that Feldenkrais fundamentals workshop, which a lot of you do, based on those. So we're going to go back to those ATMs and explore them in depth with this idea of being a student and being a teacher, being a student or a teacher. It could be, I don't know whether you want to be a student or a teacher, whichever you like. Anyway, that kind of thing. And this other funny thing, the other ATM series we'll do, I'm going to enter into a bit of a process of the same thing that you're doing, but with myself, is I'm going to teach a series of an ATM series that I've never taught before. I've done it several times, but I've never taught it. And actually, it's one of the, I'm not, full of physical prowess, but in the past, let's just say ATM, not easy for me, but the gymnasticy things is okay for me. This one I've never really been able to do to any level of satisfaction. It's hard. It's not gymnastically hard, by the way. It's organisationally hard. And it's called the Kata series. So those of you who know martial arts, Kata means form. So it's a series of forms, and they're not. You won't recognise sort of particularly any. It's not like a big judo roll or anything overt or gymnastics like that. It's a way of organising yourself. It's in a way quite biomechanical, but it comes out of a judo something called Kata. Actually, the series is called 5 Winds Kata. What 5 Winds is? I can't remember for some reason why it's called 5 Winds Kata. Anyway, so I thought, well, I'll give myself a challenge of teaching you an ATM that I don't particularly understand, and what my process is during this week of going home and being a student, working out what this series means. Well, I can only work out what it means for me. Try and create some expectations about what it means for you. And so you get a window into, this is a never-ending process. This the way that we work in this sort of student-teacher way is ongoing. Even for someone as wise and old as me. Now, those of you who don't know me don't know that I can be incredibly, my sense of humour is quite Australian. That's a joke. When I say wise and old, that is a joke. I'm not seriously telling you that I am either wise or old. Why is that funny? Oh, okay. So they're the ATM things that we're doing. Now, falling out of those will be some FI practice. And that's not the focus, but we want to just keep that bubbling along so that you are continuing to add depth to your ability to use touch, as we are more focusing on your ability to use your voice and observational skills to create this kind of learning environment. And really also because you will see more when you get your hands on things quickly in terms of understanding your data. And I said that to you, you will see more when you get your hands on. And we will introduce another framework for observation. So there are, this is the beauty and the frustration of the Feldenkrais method, is that we will just keep throwing frameworks at you. And you keep thinking, well, what is the real one? What is the one? Okay. Like that. Because they're just frameworks, and you can apply them and you can disapply them, and you can adopt them and you can unadopt them. So this one is one that we've inherited from Larry Goldfarb. Has anyone met Larry? Yep. So Larry is Larry's a good friend of ours. He's been out to Australia a lot. He was the education director of the Adelaide training program that I was with Jenny for. And he has a kinesiology background. Now, to remind you, kinesiology in the sense of the study of movement, not in the UK. Sort of, there's an approach called kinesiology. Kinesiology actually is originally study of movement, movementology study. So when I first started at uni, I was teaching kinesiology, and someone said, "I didn't know you did that with yourself." What we got thinking it was this. Kinesiology, that's really weird. Like saying biomechanics is weird. It's not weird, it's science. But anyway, so that's what he did from an academic point of view. So he brings that plus incredible mind to creating homework, if you like, of understanding the method. And so one of his observational kind of tools is called SPIFFA. I've actually got a sheet of paper where it's called SPIFFA. I can see why he's turned the T into a P. So we'll use SPIFFA. He uses acronyms in a way that makes my head spin. I don't like them, but anyway. But it's a good model, and we decided yesterday it would be a nice one to introduce to you. And there's heaps of others. We talked in the early years of Tom last year about Tom orientation and manipulation. The sort of original what Feldenkrais talked about, very simply. So Larry's extended that more, and he's also got he had an interest in other movement language, Laban. So he sort of picked up some things from Laban, and I guess the other influences. I'm a bit of a magpie as well in the tradition of Feldenkrais magpies. So we'll use SPIFFA, and you can accept it or reject it. Now, because my brain really has antibodies around acronyms, it wants to demolish them as soon as I put them in my head. So I actually don't remember them. So I'll put that up on the board so that you can use it. I find that quite ironic that we use, not an acronym actually, it's what do you call it when the first letter of each word goes up? acronym. S stands for, oh, so it's the word means yeah, whatever that is, that's what it is. It doesn't help me remember it. I just remember the system. I don't remember the reasoning. So there's a lot about my cognition, and you can decide for yourself if it's useful or not. Okay, so that's all for the week. So we'll take a breather from breathing, and you continue with the breathing explorations with Darren next week. But we'll keep breathing happening in the background. That's all okay with you? They just bubble up, don't they? They just bubble up. Because they are an integral part of life, obviously, breathing, activities around breathing, and however, it's in your system now. So whatever you are experiencing as a result of your increased awareness of breathing from last week, obviously will be impacting on your work this week, and that can come up in discussion. So it's not that we're ignoring it; we're putting it. Literally, the book is sitting in that lecture, sitting over there on that roller. Sorry, in the book.